Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Anu from Meraki Home Studio. For those of you who are new here, we are a home interior design studio based out of Hyderabad. So today we'll be talking about how to design a kitchen majorly in India. Why I've chosen this topic today is because while designing a home, kitchen is one of the most important areas because it's the most used space in any home. And while designing a kitchen, one needs to consider a lot of factors. It has to be practical, it has to be functional, the spacing and the layout needs to be considered, and the most important, it has to be very, very ergonomic. So while designing a kitchen, it can be designed in n number of ways, and there are n number of appliances and styles and designs and accessories that can be used in it. But today I'll be talking in brief on how to design and the most and the basic standard key points that need to be considered while making or designing a kitchen. So let's begin. First of all, we'll talk about the space planning or the layout of the kitchen. So you will obviously have one given layout of the kitchen, but the layout or the form of the kitchen can be of any type. It could be a straight kitchen, it could be an L-shaped one, a U-shaped one, or a parallel kitchen. Sometimes if it's a bigger kitchen, it can be an island kitchen also that you can design in it. Moving on next, I'll talk about the dimensions and how to plan the cabinets and what should be the standard dimensions of them. So I'll consider the elevation of the kitchen, considering the wall of the kitchen. I'll start from the floor and we'll move up to the ceiling. So starting from the floor, the first thing is the plinth or the skirting that will come at the bottom. This needs to be of 4 inches for ease of cleaning. Above that, of course, your base cabinets will come, and the final height of your countertop along with the base cabinets should be between 32 to 36 inches. The standard and the most used height of the base cabinet is 34 inches, but sometimes the user or the person will be using the kitchen space can be taller, and sometimes they want it a little higher, so it can go up to 36 inches. Above that comes your dado area or your backsplash area. That space is going to be empty, no cabinets will come there. You can of course place some accessories on it, but majorly that is for the working space, and that needs to be considered 24 inches or 2 feet. Here, one important aspect that needs to be considered is that this 2 feet has to be exactly 600 mm. Why? Because sometimes you'll be using some tiles that will be coming on top of it. It could be some printed tiles or any tiles that are made for dado purposes. These tiles come of a standard height of 600 mm. So that's why it's important that you take it exactly 600 mm. Otherwise, there can be a gap of few mm which can lead to a problem. So for this, it's better you decide what exactly is going to be used on the dado area, and the size will be 600 mm to be precise. Above that, we move on to the wall cabinets. That again starts from 24 inches, the height of it. It can go up to 30 inches also, depending on your design and how you are planning to get that look of the kitchen. Above that, whatever space is left up to your ceiling or the false ceiling, that will become the loft. And that is generally, if you are going for a 24-inch height wall units, the loft will come of approximately 24 inches only. So that's about the height of these cabinets. Now I'll talk about the depth of it. So the base unit depth can be from 22 inches to 24 inches, but make sure that the minimum depth of the base cabinet is 22 inches. Reason: one, the channels that will be fitting into it for your tandem drawers and tandem baskets will come of a standard size. So for them to fit properly, you need a minimum of 22 inches deep in these cabinets, but it's best that you go for 24 inches. So one, about these channels, and secondly, the hob that will come on top of your counter, those will also come ready-made and of standard sizes. So you will need a depth of 22 to 24 inches to fit any inbuilt or even the freestanding hob onto it. Moving on next, on the wall cabinets. The wall cabinets depth can be from 12 inches to 15 inches, depending on how you want to use it. But here again, the point that is to be noted and considered while designing it is that if in case your water purifier or RO is coming somewhere in your wall cabinet, the depth has to be around 14 inches. Most of the models will fit in 14 inches, but again, you need to check which model is going to be used, and accordingly the depth can be planned. The second appliance that might fall into your wall cabinets is the chimney that will come above your stove or the hob. Again, same thing, in 14 inches most of the chimneys would fit, but do check the model that you're going for to get that exact deep that you want to plan. Next, we will talk about the loft depth that mostly is equal to the wall cabinets, whatever you're taking. If it is 14 inches, the loft will also be 14 inches. But sometimes designs are such where people want the loft to be a little more deep. So then accordingly it can be planned. Sometimes it can be more than 14 inches also. The loft basically extrudes out and the wall cabinet goes a little deeper than that. So that is something that you can plan as per your design and the usage of the client. Then there'll be a tall unit that you'll be fitting in the kitchen. So for that, the deep will remain 2 feet throughout from the bottom till the top. Why 2 feet? To fit if at all you are going to use an inbuilt microwave, oven, etc., a 2 feet depth is required. And also the cabinets, if you're not planning for the appliances, even if you're planning for your appliances a plain cabinet, then also 2 feet depth is preferred so that any type of freestanding microwave, juicer, mixer can fit into it. So that's about the dimensions of this cabinets. So these are the different layouts of a kitchen, and while planning the layout of the kitchen, the key factor and the most important thing that needs to be considered and the first most thing that needs to be considered is the work triangle. The work triangle is basically a triangle formation that needs to be done in a kitchen which connects 3 points in your kitchen. One, your hob or your stove. The second would be the wash area or your sink. And the third is your refrigerator. So these 3 points are basically to be planned in a triangular way because a person working in the kitchen needs to be connected with these 3 points while cooking or working in the kitchen the most. So it is very important that you plan the kitchen in a way where these 3 points fall in a triangular manner. Now we will talk about how to plan the different types of cabinets in a kitchen. So first we will start with the base cabinets. In the bottommost we will begin from the stove or the hob. So if we go by the books, below the hob generally we plan for 2 drawers because the hob can be an inbuilt one, and then below it you generally give 2 drawers for usage of your bowls and other and the plate rack basically. And there is a drawer that comes right left to your stove or the hob, which is basically which will basically accommodate the cutlery tray in it for storing your spoons, ladles, etc. Now that's how it should be planned, but sometimes the space does not permit it. So in these days in the flats that generally we are getting in the gated communities, the layout of the kitchen is not very spacious. It's more towards compact design. So in that case you can go for 3 drawers below the hob, where 2 smaller drawers will come on top and then a bigger drawer will come in terms of height. So 3 drawers below the hob. Starting from the top, the first and the second can be of a height of about 7 inches, and the bottom one you need to consider a height of at least 15 inches because that's where your plate stand will go, and that to accommodate the plates in a standing manner, 15 inches minimum height would be required for that. Talking about the width of this drawers, you need to take around 3 feet or 36 inches so that it accommodates and aligns properly with the hob that is placed on top of it. Next, on the right hand side of these 3 drawers, generally you should plan for a bottle pull-out, and the width of this should be around 9 to 10 inches in which the standard bottle pull-out accessory can fit properly. And this should be placed right adjacent to your stove or the hob for the ease of usage while cooking. Moving on, next, whatever space is left in that particular elevation or beside it, you can plan for drawers. If the client wants more drawers, you can plan for drawers, or if they want it to be simple shelves, you can go for shutters. The shutters can be of any size, you can customize it, but make sure that the shutter size is not too much in terms of width so that it is easy to use. So it should not go beyond 18 inches mostly. so that you don't have to move backward a lot while opening the shutter and accessing the cabinet. Talking about the corner space is very important and needs to be utilized for the layouts that we get these days. The corner space can be utilized in two ways. One, it can be an L-shaped access that can be given to it. So by L-shaped access means that it will be accessible from both the sides, and it can be accessible from one side also, so it can be a straight corner as well. In both the cases, the whole space is utilized, but the access is either given from one side or both sides. In both the cases, you can go for either shutters, simple shutters, two shutters also, or it can be a foldable shutter also. And internally, it could be a plain simple shelf that you can put, or else if depending on the client's requirements, you can go for some accessories like magic corners, etc. There are multiple types of models available these days. Whatever suits the user can be planned there. Moving on to the tall units. The tall units depth, as I said, is 24 inches. So in that you need to plan the whatever space is remaining after the standard size of your microwave oven, whatever you're fitting there. Whatever space is remaining, you can plan for drawers or shutters depending on your requirement. Apart from this, you can give the wicker baskets somewhere in your cabinets if the space permits, for the storage of onions, potatoes, etc. Then the planning of the wall cabinets. So the wall cabinets can be simple shutters, and inside that you can give plain shelves for storage of your containers, etc. If you want to give that aesthetic look, these cabinets can be planned in glass as well. That can be in metal profile, that can be in duco finish. And apart from this, you can go for the lift up cabinets also on your wall cabinets. So that can be customized as per your requirement. Then moving on to the loft. The loft needs to be done in frame and shutter while making the kitchen. By frame and shutter, I mean that the internals of the loft will not be a complete box. The shutters will be sitting on a frame that is done externally to just support the shutter and fix the hinges. The reason behind this is that the loft needs to be completely open from behind. One, for the chimney pipe to run through it, and secondly, for storage of bigger utensils or items that are occasionally used in a kitchen. So that's about the planning of the cabinets, where and how to plan the cabinets. So these are some basic and key points that need to be considered while planning the different types of cabinets in a kitchen. Now let's talk about the countertop and the tiles that will be used in the kitchen. So while planning the countertop of the kitchen, generally people get confused about what material to use and what will be durable, what will be good for look, for function, etc. So there are the thing that needs to be considered here is the usage, the client or the user who is going to use the kitchen. How exactly do they use it? If the kitchen is going to be used very heavily, a lot of cooking is going to happen there, then we need to consider a very low maintenance material which is very sturdy and durable and very low maintenance, and that material is granite, which is best for Indian kitchens. But the limitation with granite is in terms of color and finish. Granites will come mostly in darker shades, and you will not be able to go for lighter shades in that. So again, depending on your design, you need to select the material. So one, granite, which is highly low maintenance, and second material that you can go for is quartz. In this, you have multiple types of finishes and colors available. You can go for any finish and color. But yes, quartz is something that needs to be maintained a little. It's not very high maintenance, but yes, it needs to be maintained a little bit. The third material that is trending these days and is being used a lot is the full body tiles. These tiles are being designed specifically for kitchen countertops, and they come in the sizes equal to the slabs of a granite or a quartz. 8 feet to 10 feet long tiles are available these days. So these tiles can also be used. Costing wise also, it falls somewhere in between quartz and granite, and usage wise also it is quite good, and you can you get good colors and you can maintain it properly. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance. So those are the three materials that you can go for depending on your usage for the kitchen countertop. Moving on to the dado or the backsplash area. If you're planning for quartz or tile on the countertop, you can simply extend the same on your dado or the backsplash. That is one option. The second option is to go for dado tiles. These could be printed tiles, plain tiles, marble finish tiles, anything depending on your design. So that's the second option, dado tiles, which can be of different sizes. You can go for mosaic tiles, you can go for the 2 feet bigger tiles, you can go for 1 by 1 tile. So different types of tiles are available. Those can be selected and put up on the dado area. The third material that can be used on the dado area is lacquered glass. So if you're going for a modern design and you want that more clean and minimalist look, you can also go for lacquered glass on the backsplash area. Now we will talk about one of the very important factors, that is the electrical and plumbing points in a kitchen. So while designing a kitchen, these plumbing and electrical points need to be considered in advance. While designing, you first of all need to see what all points are provided in the kitchen, and accordingly you need to plan the shifting of these points for usage. So to point out a few major key points that needs to be taken, the major electrical points that will definitely come in a kitchen are one for your hob, one for your chimney, and one for your water purifier or RO. If at all you are planning for a dishwasher, again the fourth electrical point would be required for that. Apart from these major points, you need to take some extra sockets and electrical points somewhere on your dado area, which will be placed in your preparation zone where you'll be working, basically where the counter space is empty. So it should not come near the sink or the hob for safety purposes. And these sockets, you can take some extra sockets for future usage, and these are mainly for using your mixers, juicers, air fryers, etc., appliances majorly. So that is one. Then it is suggested that you take a light below your wall units so that there is ample lighting on the countertop while working. So for that we will need an electrical point. And then we're moving on to the wall cabinets. If at all you have planned for some glass cabinets, you will definitely take lights inside that. So the electrical point for that needs to be considered. Then talking about the plumbing points, there will be the few plumbing points that will definitely be there. One is the sink. So for the sink, you will need an inlet and an outlet. So that needs to be planned and shifted accordingly if required. So that needs to be planned earlier, and these points need to be considered. Apart from that, if you want to go for a under counter RO or a water purifier that is coming below the counter under the sink, so an inlet outlet needs to be planned for that also below the sink cabinet. If at all you are going for an RO on your wall cabinets, then the plumbing point for that also needs to be checked. Generally it will be provided, but that needs to be checked. Another plumbing point would come for a geyser. So that also generally will be provided, but yes, you need to check about these plumbing points that are required. And then there is a dishwasher. If you're planning a dishwasher, it will come right next to your sink cabinet, and for that you need to plan for the inlet as well as the outlet. So these are the plumbing points that are generally required in a kitchen. So that was all about how to design a standard basic kitchen, mostly for Indian usage. And I hope this was helpful. This is basically a video that is for beginners. If you want to design and execute a kitchen which is not very complicated, but yes, at the same time fully ergonomical and functional in terms of usage, a proper kitchen design for Indian usage this is how you need to plan it. If you have any doubts or any queries, or if you want me to cover any additional topic based on kitchen or any other topic related to interior design, do let me know in the comment section, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button for further updates and interior design tips and full home tours from Meraki Homes. Until next time, thank you.